Today we're visiting an aviation cemetery,
whose end-of-life residents, from cargo planes to business jets, now rest in peace.
and in pieces. Row upon row, over 2,000. Some succumbing to nature.
But how did they all get here? And is this their final destination?
I'm about to unearth tales from the graveyard and beyond. Harry Truman Airport is a remote place that isn't easy to find. Its previous owner had a passion for collecting planes. This required an airport, which for 50 years he filled.
Now, speaking of commitment, right?
Yeah.
The 170 acres now belong to BAS Part Sales, which salvages, then sells, used airplane parts worldwide. Public access is strictly limited. No one knows their way around this vast inventory like Clinton McJenkin.
What was the first thing that you thought when you saw this?
My jaw dropped. You know, like there are just so many things sitting in so many places. What do you do with it?
85% of an aircraft's weight can be repurposed and recycled, often leaving just the metal shell.
We really don't waste anything. We put very little in a landfill. Very, very little goes anywhere that's not a recycling process. If it's copper, if it's aluminum, if it's steel, rubber, nothing goes in a garbage can.
And what happens? How do you treat a fuselage like this? Like, what
So-
happens to it?
A fuselage like this, to us, looks like a lot of sections.
Ah, yeah,
See,
right.
all of your rivets
There,
are sections.
Right.
And so somewhere along the way, the same Gulfstream might be flying as a commercial airliner in, I don't know, Thailand, right? And something happens to this section of the fuselage. So we remove the rivets, we take this section of aluminum off, we very carefully ship it around the world, and they rivet it back on their airplane. If you come out here and take this piece of this Gulfstream, it might be 4,000 or 5,000, but it's 3 or 4 times that from another source. This one, you know, the whole cockpit section was sold as a replacement. It's neat to think about what this airplane was used for. Wow, revised 1991.
I keep on being tempted to open one of the luggage compartments, but I haven't dared it yet.
We need a weapon. It's empty.
Empty?
Yeah, stick your head in there. It's an
This is wild.
experience.
I swear, if these aircraft could tell stories,
They would be horror.
Yeah, they would be, yeah. At least one. At least one horror story.
look at this. Oil meters, throttles, quantity gauges. Unbelievable. Radio buttons, everything is still here. It's a mess though, but everything is still here. This is wild.
The lifespan of commercial airplanes used to be 30 to 40 years. It's now just 20 to 25. This decreased lifespan raises serious economic and environmental issues.
So this is the crew quarters and the restroom here. It was a commercial aircraft at some point.
This is your captain speaking?
This one smells like something's been living in it.
And do you know where all these aircraft are coming from?
Yes, we can tell you where every aircraft that's sitting out here came from and how we acquired it and what happened to it.
Most aircraft land up here through no fault of their own.
In this business, it's almost always pilot error. The pilot ran out of gas, 5 miles short of the airport is a common
So
thing.
this is a good lesson for all the pilots out there.
Yeah, carry plenty of fuel.
Yeah,
Stop and get more, yeah.
Exactly.
Pilot error, even after years of training, accounts for 53% of aviation accidents, which usually occurs after takeoff and landing.
On 731D, look at the roof. That plane flipped over. So they land wrong, prop hits, it goes over.
Do we have any military aircraft here as well?
No. Salvaging military aircraft is a different thing. With military aircraft, the government's not going to call and say, hey, send me that control surface. Right? They're going to manufacture their own, or they manage their own salvage. I understand that things like fighter jets are salvaged and recycled, but the government does most of that. So we don't really have the opportunity to buy those kind of things.
Right.
Now we're going to go even deeper into the woods.
Reapplying bug spray, because apparently there's
Man-eating ticks in these woods. When you look at the map, this is the big swath of trees that's just deep green. I mean, they sat fuselages down next to each other. This stuff in the woods just goes on and on and on. There's a tail section.
Wow, look at this. Animal?
Something, yeah.
Heard an animal.
There's absolutely historically important things sitting out here. There's things out here that there's one of or two of in the world.
The cemetery is even home to the actual Lockheed Jetstar from the 1964 James Bond film Goldfinger.
We'll be landing in Baltimore.
This aircraft transported 007 across the Atlantic under the watchful eyes of Pussy Galore.
Do you want to play it easy or the hard way?
And where do all these old fuselages go?
They'll get recycled. So the fuselage like this will take, we'll completely gut it. Everything that's aluminum goes with the aluminum, everything that's copper goes with copper, rubber goes with rubber, and all those things get recycled. And eventually the shell will get sort of crushed into a cube.
Cube?
A cube, yeah, it'll get cubed, and then it'll go off to a metals recycler.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Many aircraft manufacturers are considering the industry's carbon footprint. With the rapid growth of air travel, reusing complex aircraft parts helps the environment. Recycling aluminum uses 95% less energy than producing new aluminum. This makes plain sense. When an aircraft is resurrected, it's brought to this workshop. This is where it comes to life.
Yeah, this is a big difference.
This grew out of the necessity of calling somewhere to get an airplane part and taking a week to figure out if they had it or not. There's a giant process to how this works.
Oh, it's completely naked.
Yes.
First, the aircraft gets stripped from its parts.
The mystery of aircraft is really being revealed.
Right, it is. It's
cool.
Well, I mean, and look above you, the headliner, all of that plastic, all of those things come out and it'll be down to just a bare bone. So the airplane turns into parts like this. He'll take a bin, you see him wiping down a part there.
Right.
We'll pressure wash it, whatever needs to happen so that that thing is ready to go back to wherever it's going.
Then, the parts get catalogued.
What folks do is take each part, each little thing, and figure out what the part number is.
Once identified and tagged, the parts make their final stop at the company's warehouse, ready to be sold and shipped.
So when you buy something from us, we take it off the shelf and put it in a box, and it goes today. You know, you'll get it in 2 days.
All over America?
Generally anywhere in the world.
What they can't reuse will be sold on, to upcycle as clothing, furniture, or possibly artwork.
We had a guy buy a full Cessna 172 to put in his garden.
No.
Yeah.
Jared Bowles started his venture by selling plane parts on eBay and now has a multi-million-dollar company recycling and repurposing aircraft of many different types.
Started in an old lean-to in an old hangar.
Manufacturers eventually stopped making airplane parts for older planes, hence the $2 billion a year repurposing market.
We are the Amazon of airplane parts.
Right, yeah.
Recycling, repurposing, rethinking. Keeping aircraft parts and materials in circulation and not just leaving them in a graveyard to rust shows an aviation industry serious about sustainability. And that makes for a better life journey for us all.
General idea,
Camping style.
right? You're in an airplane, so you're at least glamping. No, it's clean though.
Yeah, sorry,
It is clean. That is clean.
No, I see it. It's spotless.
Right?